Hey everyone, this is Kevin, your entrepreneur, and potentially good news if you live in Pennsylvania. But Uber and Lyft may soon be legal, as in legal, you can use it, you can drive it, and the city will not try to stop them, and the taxi industry can no longer sue them, basically for just providing a better product than everyone. Now, this is not final, but according to PennLive as well as other sites, the Pennsylvania House of Representatives gave second consideration to a bill Tuesday that would allow transportation network companies, which are TNCs, to operate in Pennsylvania. The bill, which will be up for third consideration on Wednesday before it heads back to the Senate, can't come soon enough. Right now, both Uber and Lyft are operating on experimental licenses that are running out. And what those experimental licenses are is that Pennsylvania basically said, get out, and they were issued these temporary licenses as sort of a stay of execution while they made their case for why they should be allowed to be running around the city and everything. So that's what that is. Now, I don't know exactly what the bill says exactly, but according to this article, the bill would allow Uber and Lyft to operate in Pennsylvania, where the companies have continued to battle with the parking authority and cab companies. Also, the bill sets aside money for Philadelphia schools every time a ride is hailed. So, people in Philadelphia, here's the good news. Chances are you're going to get to keep Uber and Lyft. Here's the bad news. You are probably going to pay an extra fee because Uber and Lyft are not going to cover the donations to the schools themselves. Like, they just can't do that, especially not with what they charge. So, what are my thoughts on this? Well, obviously, this is good news if you do this like I do, because it's like, well, it essentially means your job is more than likely not going to go away anytime soon. I do find it kind of strange, though, that basically these companies, which had not really been doing anything wrong except maybe not doing very thorough background checks. I, for the record, am for fingerprinting. But basically, it took a bill that said, hey, a certain amount of money will be provided to the government before we will allow your business to run. And I don't know. I have a few issues with that. I'm definitely a capitalist. I have my own businesses that are online, and it's always interesting how it's like, well, but 50 years ago, you were allowed to just create a business, and if it was successful, then you were successful. And now the government's kind of gotten to that point where more and more they're trying to punish companies for being successful. Like, here's my question, and you can answer this in the comments if you know. I don't know off the top of my head. I probably really should have looked this up before I made the video, but too late now. Do the taxi companies actually contribute money to schools? Probably not. I don't think they will because, the business has been around for a long time. And here comes Uber and Lyft. They're getting sued all the time. There's regulatory concerns. And now the government says, hey, you know what? You get out. But if you provide a little bit of money, we'll let you stay. And that almost seems like a bribe. Like, I don't know. Am I crazy? That seems like a bribe to me. So, yeah, I am, of course, for Uber and Lyft being legal, but I do agree there should be some regulations. The way that Uber and Lyft protect their customers is not good. The way they treat their drivers is not good, although, in all fairness, again, Uber is way, way worse about this than Lyft. Lyft, I think, actually is a little nice. I've gotten random phone calls from Lyft where they tell me that I got positive comments on a ride and they just wanted to say thank you for being part of the platform. Uber will never do that, trust me. But the bottom line is these two companies, they are businesses and they have a right to put out a product and they also have a right to make money. And basically with this move, the government says they don't have a right to make money unless they give some of that to the government or the schools. And I think that's wrong. And I really do think it's wrong. I mean, as much as I want Travis Kalanick to put a tip option, donate more money to charity, to basically stop trying to be so monopolistic, legislating that he, donate money to schools is not. I mean, you're not sticking it to Kalanick because, again, Uber and Lyft are going to make the customers pay for that, and the customers, so Uber and Lyft, you are now letting them stay in business, but you're asking for money, and Uber and Lyft are going to make the customers pay that money. They are not going to pay that money themselves, and I think that's wrong. I think it's wrong for the government to say you can be in business so long as you give us a cut, which technically they already do. It's called taxes. Uber and Lyft are taxed. That's how they support the local government. They pay their taxes. At least they should pay their taxes. But now there's like an additional tax. So they're taxing Uber and Lyft for having a business and having that business work. And then by extension, they are taxing the people for making that business successful because Uber and Lyft are not going to pay for those taxes themselves. I don't know. That is a very mixed blessing. And now this bill has not passed. It has not passed. But it has support from both Republicans and Democrats. I assume some independents are on board with it. So it's very likely it will pass. And if only because I think Democrats and Republicans use Uber and Lyft all the time. And they don't want to see it go away. And hey, if they can keep the service that is convenient for them, and this could also help with the budget, then go for it. So, I don't know. What do you guys think? Think this is right? Think this is wrong? I'd like to know. Comment below. Like, favorite, share, subscribe. And as always, flame responsibly. Have a good one.